Buenos dias. Welcome to El Salvador. It's a beautiful country. It's the smallest in Central America. It's lush, it's green, it's tropical. It's a stark contrast to the kind of reality of the poverty that you see in these people's homes. They are living on less than $1 a day for most of them in a situation like poverty that would steal, kill, and destroy opportunity. The idea of hoping for more can be so disappointing. My name is Becca Browning, and I am a trip specialist for Compassion International. I am leading this sponsor tour to El Salvador.
You don't have to go to school today, that makes it a good day.
We're gonna have an incredible trip. A lot of the economy here in El Salvador is based on subsistence farming and agriculture. Some of the best, most arid land for growing coffee beans.
He is in charge of giving the quality of the coffee.
A lot of the ways these families are providing for themselves is by using what they have. The problem is a lot of times these families are working land and living on land that they don't own. So even though they're working for the benefit of the product, they don't actually get to take any of it home with them. They don't get to receive the benefit of the work and the labor that they do on a day-to-day basis. These workers work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and they make $4 to $5 a day. The reality of that is not much to fulfill the needs of a growing family within any one of the members who's working at any of these plantations. We have a wonderful staff in country.
Hello.
And the reason that we hire staff in country is that we know that the nationals know the language, they know the culture, they know the community better than we know the community and the culture and the language. So they are kind of the legs and hands and feet to what we do in the fields. A sponsor, honestly, is a hero in the heart of a child. It's communicated to us through the celebrity receptions that we receive when we walk into a project. We may never leave our village. We may never travel outside of 10 blocks away from our home. To demonstrate someone cares enough to come that far with that kind of resource to see them, that communicates something really, really powerful. When I walk in and I hear a child praying and worshiping, I am humbled. The overwhelming presence of God in the midst of poverty.
Many times I don't have lunch at my home and I come here to the project and I can have food here.
That's all they have to some degree. I don't think fully as sponsors we can understand that. The home visits are by far one of my favorite elements of the sponsor tour. When you walk into a home and you see the conditions of where they're living, I think it's a huge adjustment. We are called to enter in, and I think a home visit is a beautiful example of really entering into the life of a child. But you're also saying, you have something to offer me, and I'm here to receive a blessing from you in your home. When you show up and you sit down, and the family has collected all the plastic chairs they have from their neighbors to host you. And the mother has been making tortillas since the morning to give you something to eat. And they have so very little. What you're challenged in most of all is to receive. But they have so little, and I have so much. It doesn't matter in the economy of God. We are to receive and we are to give, and we're not to steal the joy of giving from someone else. And that can be challenging to a sponsor. CSP is a term we use to describe the Child Survival Program. Over 21,000 children die every day from preventable causes.
Hola.
Things like malaria, things like typhoid, things like malnutrition, some things that are just so basic. We thought, we're never going to be able to integrate these young ones into our sponsorship program if we're losing them to things that we can prevent.
Hola.
We are partnering with churches, just like we do with our sponsorship program, to have our child survival program working with pregnant moms and mothers with very young children. We had the chance to see them do a cultural dance, show off the pride of their lives, their small babies. They'll help them with groceries, get to tour through the project and see the many rooms that they have that help them with what we would call tummy time.
3 centimeters long.
Health specialists to come in and talk to the moms about breastfeeding, about nutrition, about how to keep their homes clean, about what to do when a child has basic issues like diarrhea. Things that may seem basic, but Even from our standpoint, there are things that had to be communicated.
In my case, I never got to hear an I love you from my mom.
We have very young mothers.
We are all standing around you.
We want to come alongside her and say, we see you where you're at. We understand the daily life that you are dealing with and the hardships of that. We want to help you out. We'll show you how to be a great mom.
I'm now a leader in my community, and I preach the gospel to all of my friends.
Every mom will attach to a program or to a community that's pouring into their child. They really are the gateway to loving on these kids the best way we can, because we are child focused. So we're going after the smallest, the most vulnerable, the ones that poverty would eliminate the choices for.
So we dream that someday one of these children become the president of El Salvador.
Leadership development student is the pride of any country. We had the opportunity to meet several leadership development students here in El Salvador. They have all of the elements of what we're looking for in any kind of leader, but they don't have opportunity to go and further their education. The leadership development program provides a platform for that. They'll be paired with a mentor in their country that has a similar skill and has gone through a similar program in their education. They'll have leadership development training classes once a week. We also expect that these leadership development students will stay here in country and change their countries for Christ. We want to develop them into their full potential, not just academically, but who they are as people. And they always give back to the project where they grew up. It's a beautiful thing to see. They're the pride of El Salvador. They're the pride of Compassion's program. They want this with all that they are. They're trusting for God to provide the way for the calling of what they feel in their own hearts to pursue. It is a much bigger commitment from a sponsor. We ask each sponsor to commit to at least 3 years for at least $300 a month. But even that, compared to our local tuition costs or private schooling in the United States, is almost nothing. To a child, a sponsor is a family member, a best friend, a second parent, a mother, a father, a sister. They're an extension of the family. You're a hero. You really are to the heart of a child. When you are willing to spend your life for someone else, God is all about that. I think Compassion is by far the most effective child sponsorship organization available. It's effective, it's working. Child's lives really are being impacted and changed. The enemy is working strategically at the heart of a child. A hungry stomach has no ears. We have to fulfill the basic needs in order to fulfill the emotional needs. And we have to fulfill the emotional needs in order to fulfill the spiritual needs. There's a hierarchy of why we have a holistic approach to what we do, and most organizations don't take that holistic approach. They want to solve things by throwing money at the problem. And money is not the enemy here, but it's also not the solution. We're not just handing people things and creating a dependency.
From 10 to 11, they have to study.
We want to empower people to not depend on compassion,
And in the future, I would like to be a doctor.
but to be able to do it for themselves.
I will be a doctor.
We're creating skills. We're giving vocational training. You have something that you are inherently good at.
He's making his scarf so he can sell it later.
We want to see that. We want to identify it. We want to grow it. We want that to be able to sustain you, not compassion. You are more than capable. You are a conqueror in Christ. And here's how we're going to empower you to do that. It is a culture we can create, and it is something that we can empower people to do. Effective, committed, filled with integrity, doing the really difficult work of engaging in people's lives. There is something supernatural and spiritual that happens when we intentionally connect our hearts to the messy lives of each other. The messiness of life is where God's beauty is really demonstrated, and that's the heart of Compassion.